They were chained, stolen, and facing a life of slavery, but they refused to be silent. Imagine this. The year is 1839. On the stormy Atlantic, a Spanish schooner named La Amistad cuts through the waves. But this is no ordinary vessel. In its dark, suffocating hold, dozens of men people, captured from their homes in what is now Sierra Leone, are bound in iron. Their faces, a mixture of despair and fiery defiance, tell a story of unimaginable loss. They were farmers, hunters, and family members, now reduced to cargo, destined for the sugar plantations of Cuba. But in the heart of one man, a rice farmer named Sengbi Pei, a spark of rebellion was about to ignite a fire that would be seen across the world. This is the incredible true story of the Amistad Revolt, a fight for freedom that would challenge the very foundations of a nation. Down in the ship's hold, amidst the stench and misery, Sengbi Pei, who would later be known as Joseph Sank, was not just a prisoner, he was a leader in the making. In the shadows, using hushed whispers and hand signals, he began to organize his fellow captives. They were outnumbered, weakened, and armed with nothing but their will to live. One stormy night, under the cover of darkness, P found a loose nail. He painstakingly worked it free, a small piece of metal that would become the key to their liberation. He unlocked his own shackles, then moved silently from man to man, freeing them one by one. The plan was simple and incredibly dangerous. Creeping up onto the deck, the Africans launched their attack. The chaos was immediate and visceral. The ship's cook, who had taunted them with gestures suggesting they would be killed and eaten, was the first to fall. Then, the captain. The two slave traders who had purchased them were taken captive, their lives spared for one crucial reason: the Africans needed them to sail the ship. With the dawn came a new reality. The blood-soaked deck was a testament to their desperate struggle, but they had done the impossible. They had taken control of the Amistad. It was a moment of heroic triumph, a brief, beautiful sunrise of freedom after an endless night of bondage. But their journey was far from over. Now in command of the vessel, the Africans faced a new, daunting challenge: how to get home. They knew their home was east, towards the rising sun. They ordered their captive navigators, Mantis and Ruiz, to sail east. But every night, under the cloak of darkness, the crafty Spaniards secretly altered course, sailing north and west, hoping to land in the southern, slave-holding states of America. For 2 long, grueling months, the Amistad zigzagged across the Atlantic. Food and water ran perilously low. The ship drifted aimlessly, a ghost vessel crewed by men caught between a stolen past and an uncertain future. They were free from their chains, but they were lost at sea, thousands of miles from Sierra Leone. Then, one day in late August, their strange voyage came to an abrupt end. The USS Washington, an American naval brig, spotted the battered schooner off the coast of Long Island, New York. When the American sailors boarded the Amistad, they were met with a shocking sight: a ship commanded by Africans, with 2 white Spaniards as their prisoners. Unsure of what to make of this bizarre scene, the naval officers took everyone into custody. The Africans, who had fought so hard for their freedom, were once again in chains. They were brought to New Haven, Connecticut, and their fight for freedom shifted from the open ocean to the American courtroom. The legal battle that followed was a spectacle that gripped the nation. The Africans were put on trial, charged with mutiny and murder. The Spanish government, backed by the administration of US President Martin Van Buren, demanded the return of their property, both the ship and the people on it. It seemed like a hopeless case. The captives spoke no English, no Spanish, and were unable to tell their side of the story. But their plight attracted the attention of American abolitionists, who saw a powerful opportunity to strike a blow against slavery. They formed the Amistad Committee, raising funds and hiring a team of lawyers to defend the Africans. The trial was a cultural and linguistic maze. The key was finding an interpreter, someone who could bridge the gap between the Mende language and the English-speaking court. After a frantic search, a linguist from Yale found a Mende speaker in the ports of New York. For the first time, the Africans could tell their story. The courtroom fell silent as Sengbi Pei, through the interpreter, stood and gave his powerful testimony. He recounted their kidnapping in Sierra Leone, the horrific conditions on the slave ship, and the desperate fight for their lives. He wasn't a mutineer or a murderer. He was a free man who had been stolen from his home and had fought to reclaim his life. His words, filled with dignity and righteous anger, transformed the case. These were not cargo. They were human beings. The lower courts sided with the Africans, ruling that since they were illegally captured and transported, they were not slaves but free individuals acting in self-defense. However, the US government, under pressure from Spain, appealed the decision, pushing the case all the way to the highest court in the land, the United States Supreme Court. The stakes were monumental. The abolitionists knew they needed a legal heavyweight, a figure of immense moral authority. They turned to one of the most unlikely figures imaginable, former President John Quincy Adams. At 73 years old and long retired from the presidency, Adams was now a member of Congress. He was a fierce opponent of slavery and agreed to take the case. In February 1841, John Quincy Adams stood before the Supreme Court. For over 8 hours, spread across 2 days, he delivered a brilliant and passionate argument. He didn't just argue points of law, he argued for human rights, for justice, and for the very soul of the nation. He appealed to the principles of the Declaration of Independence, reminding the justices that all men are created equal. He championed the natural right of every human being to fight for their freedom against their captors. He wasn't just defending 36 men and women, he was putting the institution of slavery itself on trial. The nation held its breath, awaiting the verdict. Finally, the decision came. The Supreme Court, in a landmark 7-1 ruling, declared that the Africans of the Amistad were free. They were not slaves. They had been illegally kidnapped, and they had every right to do whatever was necessary to secure their freedom. The courtroom erupted. The Africans, who had endured so much, embraced each other, their faces streaked with tears of joy. Their long, harrowing ordeal was finally over. It was a stunning victory, a triumph of justice against incredible odds. The news spread like wildfire, a beacon of hope for abolitionists and a shocking blow to the defenders of slavery. But freedom in America was not their ultimate goal. Their hearts yearned for home. With the help of their abolitionist allies, who raised money for their passage, the 35 surviving Africans finally began their journey back to Sierra Leone in November 1841. After nearly 3 years of captivity and legal battles, they were finally going home. The story of the Amistad is more than just a historical event. It's a powerful testament to the unbreakable human spirit. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, courage and a thirst for freedom can change the course of history. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please hit that like button, subscribe for more incredible stories from the past, and share this video to keep their legacy alive.